So what did Scotty do on, like, how can you get Scotty to sort of replicate that performance more often?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that he's going to score 26, but, you know, the thing is he got in a really good rhythm. He shot the ball really well. I thought he's been playing with more. Scotty's one of those guys, he's a smooth player. So sometimes, he plays at that smooth tempo, and I think he's been up in his energy level a little bit more. I noticed that in Kansas City. I thought he did a really nice job for us in those games there, and he carried it over on Saturday night. And I mean, I've talked about it all the time. Scotty's a big X factor. I mean, if you can add, I'm not saying 26, but if you can add double-figure scoring, on a nightly basis for him, then I think we become a lot more dangerous offensively.
You guys, Chris, had the nice win against Mizzou in the consolation game over there. Where does Virginia Tech, where would it fall in the schedule in terms of importance and maybe a line item on your resume?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a big game. I mean, anytime you play a Power 5 conference team, no matter, I mean, both of us are kind of in building stages with Buzz at Virginia Tech, me being year 3. We're building with young pieces and have young guys that are figuring it out and getting better and being on the road. It's a first true road game. And also just for us, I mean, we've talked about, the last couple years we haven't played as well in the challenge. Last year in particular, we had a home game. We're losing 18-2 or 20-2 to start the game, and we end up cutting it to 1. But we just came out of the gates so poorly, and so I think for us, just the pride of coming out, representing our conference, representing ourselves. This challenge is on a national stage. The games are magnified, and it's a great opportunity for us to make a statement about where we are right now.
Is it coincidental that since you left Duke and came to Northwestern, the Big Ten's on the rise in the challenge?
Yeah, it's all coincidental. No, it was all me. It was all me. No, it's. I mean, to me, it's the 2 premier conferences in America. Great programs, great players, great coaches. It's a fun challenge to be a part of because all the matchups are good. And for this couple days, starting tonight for the next few days, the 2 conferences are really at the forefront nationally because of the attention it gets. So we just want to be able to do our part and go to Blacksburg and play well and hopefully continue to build on what we've been doing out there.
Obviously, it's a homecoming game for Joey.
Yeah.
It seems like he's earning a little more time out there.
Yeah, I mean, and part of that was on me too. I told him, I haven't had the luxury of having 2 big guys the last couple years. So I was more mad at myself the first couple games that I didn't use him a little more. I'm used to playing Alex and not having a guy of Joey's caliber to be able to put in the game and for longer stretches. So I felt like the last couple games was more like what I'd like to see. I thought he played really well against Missouri. And we need to keep those 2 guys fresh and keep an active big guy on the floor at all times.
Yeah, you can't underestimate the value of a body like that.
For sure, and he's an older guy. He's played in the ACC for 4 years and now is with us, and he can be a big help. And he's different than Alex. He's more of a power guy, more of an athletic power big guy. Alex is more of a skill, finesse type of big guy. So I think it's a good dynamic when one's in versus the other. You have 2 completely different kinds of guys on the floor.
Has he helped Alex?
A ton. Those guys playing against each other. You don't underestimate what that means. When you don't have a guy of that caliber to practice against, you get a false sense in practice what the game's going to be like. Then you go out in the game and all of a sudden these guys are big and strong. You're like, whoa, I'm not used to playing against guys like that. So they bring out the best in each other. They're roommates. They become best friends. So it's great. They have a nice dynamic, and their goal is to always, as a unit, be the best 5-man on the floor on that night, and it's worked out well so far.
Did Joey help with scouting in Tech at all?
A little bit. A lot of their guys are new.
Right.
It's crazy. They've had a lot of transfers, a lot of turnover, but having his feel for how Coach Williams likes to do things, some of the things they teach defensively, and him being able to add on little things about certain individuals, whether a guy likes to go right or is a really good shooter, things like that, or stamp what we think we see on tape. He's been pretty outspoken about that. I know the game's going to mean a lot to him. He spent 4 years there. He's an international student. He loves that area, loves the school, and we hope our team can represent him well. We owe it to him to go in there and play hard and play a great game tomorrow.
What direction do you see Buzz trying to push that program in? Like, how are they different?
Well, I mean, Buzz, I think is going, what he's always done. At Marquette, get those hard-playing, athletic, hybrid-type guys that can drive the ball, push the ball, get on the glass. You can see that in their roster now. They're very athletic. Their bigs are mobile. They have fast guards, and they're just young right now. So, I mean, they're throwing a lot of young guys out there. They're figuring it out. They've played some good stretches of ball, and obviously they just played Iowa State, who's one of the best teams in the country. So, that's going to be a learning experience, just like we played Carolina. But they beat UAB in their last game. It was a really good win for them. And being at home in the challenge, we know that, they're going to really be ready to go, and it'll be a really tough game for us.
Coach, Zach Leday's come out pretty strong. What do you see out of him, and how are you guys going to try to defend him?
Yeah, he's been like a double-double machine for them. And he's a unique big guy because he's in that 6'7" range. He's not the prototypical 6'10". He's that 6'7", bruising type that has enough of a feel that he can drive you. He can make an open three. He can run in transition and score, and he's very hungry. And it's going to present problems for sure. I mean, he's putting up numbers every night. I don't think he's a guy that can just command, okay, this one guy's going to stop him. I think you need to know where he is and be able to give help from different areas and make him see different guys around him so he doesn't feel like he has one-on-one coverage down in the post.
Just going back a couple games, against Carolina, was there any thought to playing more man-to-man, or was it?
I just thought it was a bad matchup for us, and man, maybe with Vic. I knew Justin Jackson, and he was a bad matchup in zone too.
Yeah.
We had Bryce Johnson was a tough matchup, 6'11", 4-man, and Jackson was a tough matchup, and they don't shoot it that great. So we felt like our best chance was to try to hustle back. They're so good in transition. And I thought for a while it was really effective. Our problem was obviously they wore us down on the boards a little bit with their size, and then their spurts. The 14-1 run at the end of the half was a killer. We had a 6-point lead. They go into the half up 7. But we feel good about our man and our zone, and a lot of it is game by game. And we just felt like our matchups in man weren't very good.
Gavin was out for that game, right?
He was hurt.
Yeah. Would he have been a guy who could have helped in that one?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's playing great. So, I mean, that was a big loss, especially on the glass. But he got hurt on the last play of the game against Columbia, and it just took an extra day. We didn't want to mess around with it. He was having pain. He just didn't feel like he could go. So, I mean, that was kind of an underrated, loss. And that game was not having him as another 6'8" guy who could get it on the glass against Carolina.